Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is, of course, the newest and highly anticipated MCU film. Of course, it stars Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange and Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. And in this film, Dr. Stephen Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens a portal to the multiverse. However, a threat emerges that may be too big for his team to handle. I was very excited for the movie, although I will say, I went in with reasonable expectations because I went in with just such massive expectations for Spider-Man No Way Home that looking back on it, it definitely took away from a little part of the movie. I love the movie. I've seen it twice now. Even watching it at home, I still love the movie. I think it's phenomenal. So I went into this film with the same expectations I would have for every other movie, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's one of Marvel's best, but I did really enjoy it. But I do want to say, do not watch anything on YouTube about this movie. Don't even watch this video until you have seen the movie, okay? There are plenty of reasons why. The one main reason is while I was looking for a trailer to put over footage in this review, one of the biggest things in the movie was spoiled for me, which, I mean, not really spoiled for me because I've seen the movie, obviously, but it was just straight up in a thumbnail. So just be very careful because that stuff will go all over social media, especially Twitter. I think that'll be the biggest one, and TikTok. Instagram will have it, but people typically give more warnings on there, but just be very careful on social media. But anyway, let's talk about this film because it's really something. Sam Raimi has come back to direct this film, and I think that was the main reason I was excited, not only because, you know, I typically love almost everything Marvel does, but also because these are great characters, and Sam Raimi is going to direct the hell out of it, and he did. His direction here was easily the best part about the film. There's more I want to talk about in some type of spoiler video or live stream or something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but there's lots of things that I really noticed here, but I don't want to mention too much of it here. But one thing I will say is that you can really feel that horror kind of direction, the Evil Dead kind of stuff. I've only seen the first Evil Dead, but I've seen his Spider-Man movies, obviously, and you can tell the way he turns the camera, he puts on a Dutch angle, but not like Thor, so don't worry, it's okay. The way he zooms in, and just, I think the way he frames his characters, especially the way he places the actors in comparison to the camera, gives it a totally unique and different look. I think that this is not only because of the visuals, the most visually stunning MCU movie yet, yes, even more than Eternals. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but it just looks so different, and you can also tell when it's like a Sam Raimi scene and when it's hey, we're from the studio, put this scene in. Like you can actually, at least I could tell the difference between a few scenes there in particular. But let's talk about the acting, because Benedict Cumberbatch is, as always, great. I mean, you know what you're gonna expect here, but seeing different versions of him was pretty cool. Again, not spoilers because it's in the trailer, and it's literally called the Multiverse of Madness. It's been revealed, okay? That's an obvious one, but just seeing him play all the different versions here and the way he plays off himself, we know what Doctor Strange is going to do, what he's going to say in many of these scenarios, but for me, it will always work. He kind of just slowly gets better. He's not one of my favorite characters, but there is so much about him that is really interesting, and more about past things, I'll say, that is explored even more in this movie that I really enjoyed. But Wanda here is just phenomenal. I mean, Elizabeth Olsen just perfectly plays this character. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is incredible and really plays the character, but after WandaVision, I really just, Wanda became one of my top three characters. I'll make a video probably on YouTube. If not, then I'll go on Patreon about my favorite MCU characters, because I've kind of started to finalize my list, but spoiler alert, she is in my top 3 favorite characters. And although there is plenty of things in this movie that she does that's so bad, and you don't like her as a person, as a character, she is so fascinating. And of course the visual effects help because they are gorgeous, because everybody sits through all the credits here, and most people just go on their phones, but to watch the end credit scenes you have to sit through all these credits and to see the hundreds, and I'd definitely say thousands of names here that worked on this film, and the different programs they use, and companies and all that. It's really phenomenal. Sam Raimi did a really great job with the visual look of this film, although there is some issues with the movie, and I know that it's kind of splitting people a little bit. I've noticed as I looked at reviews, a lot of people love it, but a lot of people really don't like it, which surprises me because I feel like majority of people will enjoy it quite a bit. They might not love it, but for me, I really enjoyed it. I don't say well, actually, I might like just, it's hard for me to decide if I love it. I'll have to think about it more, but I really, really enjoy it. That's a totally other thing that I'll think about when I haven't seen the movie 2 hours ago or whatever. You know what I mean? But the writing here for some of the characters, again, not going to go into specifics at all, is definitely lacking a little bit. This movie's short. I remember when it was announced to be 2 hours and 6 minutes, people were scared. They were really, really scared. They're like, oh God, is it going to be rushed? And it's rushed not in the way you would expect. It's rushed for smaller moments, and I feel like overall they don't impact as much as they should, but there are big scenes, especially with Wanda, of course. Like, you can kind of guess what some of the stuff will be if you've seen the other stuff, which I assume you guys have seen all the other stuff. If not, go and watch WandaVision and all the Avengers movies, obviously, all the stuff with these characters, and it will really impact you. There's some stuff towards the end which really just I thought was insanely well done, and what they did with some of the characters were great, although there are some secondary and lower characters that don't exactly get their time to shine. They're kind of there, but then they're gone really quick because it feels like we're trying to move so fast forward through so much. So I feel like it didn't need to be like 3 hours or anything, but if they had like 20-ish minutes and gave each of these, not like very specific, but there are probably 5 to 10 characters I can think of who deserved like 10 minutes more on screen, and it really would have made an impact. And yes, there is some amazing, shocking scenes here. It's kind of what you've come to expect, but it works every single time. I'm not going to say anything more. I'm not going to say if there's 1, if there's 20, if there's anything like that. I'm not talking about any of the cameos here because some has already been spoiled on trailers, but I'm still not going to do that. But overall, this movie is very, very good. I totally understand why people will love it, and I can totally understand why people won't like parts of it. For me, it was just gorgeous to watch, and I just really felt entranced by the experience, which I really enjoy, and it was directed so well, and I loved it. But I was also distracted quite a bit by some of the quick moving of the story and characters that didn't feel like they fully were fulfilled. You know what I mean? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a visual treat with the most unique direction yet in any MCU film. Sam Raimi took a whole new approach to the film, and it worked in the best way possible. Benedict Cumberbatch is as snarky and sarcastic as usual, and Elizabeth Olsen continues to dive deeper into the rich emotions of Wanda. At times, the film can be rushed, and certain characters don't get enough time to really impact the story, but overall, I had an absolute blast traveling through the multiverse. Once again, I'm going to give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness a 4 out of 5. It's really good. It really is good, and I feel like I do have to think about this deeper. I don't know if I'm going to do a video myself or do a live stream or do it with some other people. I want to do it with some others, so I probably won't do it myself, but that should be coming in the next few days, as well as maybe a few other Marvel videos. I can never really promise because, my days always change quite a bit, so I can never promise my videos, but this movie is really good, and I suggest you go see it. Form your own opinion on it. Don't let other people tell you stuff, but you can have great, respectful conversation with others. And, of course, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you thought of the film down below, and I will see you guys next time. Over and out.